no competition. I gotta get it, so it ain't no quitting. We jumped off the benches and jumped in the trenches. No one is better than all of us, and that's why all of us been winning from the beginning. It's more than a game, don't play with my name. You come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going.
It's Madden NFL 23, and we'll see the lefty, Tua Tagovailoa, as he's moved past 3,000 yards passing for the year and looking for more. It's the Saints and the Texans, next on Madden NFL 23.
It is always a celebration here in the city of New Orleans, and we are just outside of the French Quarter at the Superdome. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints. Brandon Gordon alongside Charles Davis. And CD, you look at the Saints in this matchup, they've got to be thinking, hey, we've got a good chance to be successful here running the football.
No doubt about that, because that has to be their mindset. It should be their mindset. This is one of the better rushing offenses in the league, and they're squaring off against a team that's not at all strong on the other side of the ball. So this could be one where we see this offense try to impose their will through the trenches, and in fact, they should.
For the Saints, Will Lutz has it teed up, and here we go from New Orleans. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading him out, the former Stanford man. At quarterback, it's Davis Mills.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stand an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Start on the ground with Pierce. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The numbers on the ground for Pierce last week. 18 carries, 57 yards.
Not a horrendous week last week running the ball, but definitely room for improvement for their numbers. No doubt, they made some slight adjustments in how they're going to call plays this week in hopes they can kick those numbers up a notch.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. 4 yards on the pickup there as they leave him with a third and about 4 more for the first. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Mills from the gun on 3rd down. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now on the opening drive, he was looking for a big chunk play. Unfortunately, that time the secondary was ready for it. Charles picked it up. They took it the other way for points.
Homework, preparation, research. All comes back to that, BG. Scouting your opponent. Not disappointed by the coaches, too. And seeing what they call to begin a game, find out their tendencies. They recognize the early deep ball as part of their opposing game plan, and they weren't caught off guard when it showed up.
Will Lutz on for the point after. Good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. So the defense creating some points So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
Miles Jack there to make the tackle. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw is Mills. And Thomas has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Carry now for Alexander Madison. And he'll work this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. This defense for the Saints, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
Yeah, they held them to well under 200 yards of total offense. And in today's NFL, that's a feat to be proud of, especially with the emphasis on offense and what we're seeing each and every week. That great creativity and usual productivity.
And 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
To put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big mighty guys in the middle of this game, has got to be priority one.
On 3rd down, here's Mills. Thomas has got it, complete. And they get him down about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 3rd down pickup at 5.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They will be led out by the 6-foot lefty from Alabama. It's Tua Tagovailoa.
And I think it's safe to say that, and I heard him say it in the post-game press conference, that was a team win last week because he didn't really play up to his normal standards, throwing 2 interceptions.
No touchdown.
Yeah, didn't offset it at all, but the team found a way to get it done.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
From the 24, Tua. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
The game and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Texans will take over. And now out comes Houston. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into first downs and hopefully points.
1st and 10 now for Mills and the Texans. At the 31-yard line. They'll get things started with a carry by Pierce. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
It's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
1st and 10, it's Pierce. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. 1st down, they go right back to Pierce. Down inside the 40.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth so far. 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And they'll try to throw here. Mills, he gets it to Thomas. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd and short yardage, Mills. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here's Nick Folk now on for the field goal. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal. But when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
On every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. The Saints It's a 12-1 now to start play. And I tell you, it has been a few months now since they've tasted defeat, and they are without question the hottest team in football.
And I'm really not sure who's going to beat them right now, because to me, they have to be the favorites to go all the way, because they're not just beating teams, they're dominating them. It's been fun to watch them play, not just in their winning, but how they're getting it done.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Goes right back to Smith again. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. On 2nd down, Kamara. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Here's Tua. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he is going to have a Saints first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
Tua going to throw. Olave holds it in. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Touchdown, Saints. Chris Olave hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Saints have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, and this is where quarterbacks' passing numbers sometimes get a little bit more inflated than they should, because this is a short little pass, but it goes for big yardage.
Yeah, and this just looked like a simple, ordinary play to start, but boy, did things change. Once he got free, it was off to the races, and once he hit high gear, there's absolutely no one who's going to stop him.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats. Lutz good on the extra point. That'll make the score 14-7. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was Chris Olave who finished things off for the touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Houston set to take over. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Our 1st down throw for Mills. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
On 2nd down, Mills again. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, he's the other problem interceptions and really added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And that last penalty makes his third down play a little more interesting. 3rd and 5. To throw, Mills. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. Taken in at the 11. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Tua and the rest of the offense heading back out there. He had the short touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll begin again here on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. They'll get this out to Kamara. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 72 yards. And the Saints have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big stroke like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Wants to try to add the PAT. And it is now 21-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
We think, Brandon, the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job. They're doing more than that, aren't they? They get a nice push into the offensive backfield.
Great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Texans on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Mills now. And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took it past the boundary, and it's 4th.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Sutton. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
Looking sideline, incomplete. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Running from the shotgun with Madison. Gets around him. And down inside the 15 he goes. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Mills. Looking for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the Saints are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
Well, Brad, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to give the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
Offense set to take over. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he's going to take this out past the 10 to about the 11. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want, but on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind, trying to figure out, do I need to blitz it? Do I need to pressure? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. He is going to find Hill here. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Okay, right?
On first down, Tagovailoa. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Going up top. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. From midfield, here's Tua. That's Tua's running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Big gains in succession. Last one was over 20. This one over 30.
I think this defense was still trying to recover from that last play, so you wonder if they were ready for this one. You have to imagine their defensive coaches are yelling at them to get focused, because if they don't, more plays like that will result in giving up points.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary.
In his eyes as that throw arrived, tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
The kick by Lutz is good, and the round is on. It's 24-0. They got the turnover and were able to drive it down, Charles, but ultimately in the end the defense holds up, and they only come away with the 3 points.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of ground, but when they had to, they settled in and prevented the interception from leading to 6 points. Because you never want to see turnovers turn into any type of points against you, but better to give up 3 than 6.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start over in Tampa, an NFC South matchup between Atlanta and Tampa Bay. And that one finds the Falcons out in front. The Falcons trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. 2 touchdown passes there for Dak Prescott. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. 2 touchdown passes there for Lamar Jackson. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for the Texans in that first half. And they will need to get this passing game in gear, because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is.
Meanwhile, for the Saints, they were much more successful throwing the football than their counterparts, as you can see the numbers there. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter.
They start the second half with Kamara. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Kamara gets it again on second down.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Now Tua. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains.
With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards. Back to the 33. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. And some room to work. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Well, it doesn't matter where you put him, lined up in the backfield or split out like he was there. He can be a weapon when he gets that ball in his hands.
Yeah, and this is nothing more than a simple screen pass, but he does a really nice job of showing patience and letting his blockers get out in front of him. And he turns it into really nice yardage.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
This one taken in by Olave. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. They'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. Touchdown! Taysom Hill, a 24-yard touchdown.
And the Saints take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
And there's a situation was a tight end. Once he gets that end zone in his sights, he's not going to back down from anywhere. He doesn't worry about running the daylight. He doesn't mind running through contact. That's totally fine by him.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
They'll go Madison up the middle. And Madison hit, and the ball pops free. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having 2 hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. It's so many different things into taking care of it and having ball security. In that case, though, we didn't see it happen.
Tua Tagovailoa in the offense heading back out.
He really continues to pick apart this defense. Last drive, perfect, and it culminated in his 3rd touchdown pass.
As long as we've been doing this, how many times has a player in this type of a zone described the game as really slowed down?
Yep.
So right now, instead of warp speed,
snail's pace.
Snail's pace for him, and he can do whatever he wants. Feels like he has all the time in the world to throw the ball, and his offensive line has been giving him that.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run it again with Kamara.
And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 46 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And the Texans scoop it. But he has been a workhorse for them in this game. And ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it. When he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Fumble on first down. Now here's second down. A give to Camaro running right. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one. Really nice play.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara, that's his 18th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Saints just continue to roll. And a familiar refrain, the turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through. Touched in the lead. So this drive spans 7 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on a touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And now out comes Houston. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Draw play, Madison. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
And in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. On 3rd down, here's Mills. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is fielded at the 27. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and they will take over 1st and 10. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. He's topping the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
There you go.
Second down, and it's Kamara again. And he'll get about 2 there to the 36.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this offense on third down today, they've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw here. Yeah, the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Houston set to take over. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. 1st and 10 now for Mills and the Texans. Right at the 30. Looking to throw is Mills. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down. From the gun, here's Mills. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a 1st down. Mills to throw it. He gets it to Thomas. And they're going to get this up to midfield. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Mills now from the 50. And Cooks has it over the middle. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
And the Texans 1st down.
Mills to the air again. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. Now, 4th quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better. And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
To throw again on 2nd down, Mills. This goes out wide from Madison. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
I feel like a little bit of lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. What a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Here's Nick Folk now on for the field goal. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And the 38-year-old vet able to split the uprights, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
One bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. And they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
87 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. We're up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That passing incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa.
Got an open man. It's Olave. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw. They're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way. And plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And they will get him down, but not before he gets very good yardage there, as that will lead us right into the 2-minute warning.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice. Here, 1st and 10. They run off tackle right with Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Again, it's Camaro, and he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
Well, Brennan, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's a loss of 8 yards there to bring up 3rd. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. And his kick is indeed good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for New Orleans, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Atlanta Falcons next week. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts.